Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, I'd like to call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Planning Commission to order. Today is Thursday, January 10th, and it is 7:02. Could we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Harris.
Here.
Commissioner Stephen.
Present.
Commissioner Sims.
Present.
Commissioner DeJournette.
Here.
Commissioner Baker.
Here.
Vice Chair Corsick.
Present.
Chair Barnes.
Here. Thank you. Next, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of same. Make a motion.
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion from Commissioner Baker, second. Second from Commissioner Sims. We can vote electronically, so please vote. Motion carries 7-0. The agenda is approved. Next item is the consent calendar. Approval of minutes from the December 13th meeting. And, pardon me, the meeting of October 25th. Right?
December 13th.
Oh, what am I reading? Oh, sorry.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the December 13th meeting.
Thank you, Jeff.
And I'll second that.
Thanks, guys, for carrying me. All right, we can vote electronically. Sorry about that. All votes have been cast. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Next item, the public comments section of the meeting. Any person wishing to address the commission on any matter, either under the public comment section of the agenda or scheduled items or public hearings, please fill out a speaker request form available at the door. Please limit your time to 3 minutes, and I see we have one speaker on the list.
We
Mr.
do.
Vergaris?
Yes.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, staff, residents, and our guests. Happy New Year. It's already started well to see all 7 of you up there. That's a good beginning. I hope that 2019 will show the city of Moreno Valley and the rest of our districts that we mean business. We're going to continue the work that we had done in 2018 over to 2019 and thereon. We don't need to stop the progress that we have done in the last several years. Through the holidays, it was festive. You had a lot of people out there shopping in a lot of new stores. Okay, because there was a lot of new stores for them to go and shop, have dinners and lunches, especially all over Day Street. So that's a good thing. Through that process, you can see the corner on Eucalyptus and Day Street being built and finally almost done. Remember something. That lot used to be Robinson. Then it was vacated, and there was nothing there. And when you drive by there today, you can see the votes of yes, 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 and what it does to the city of Moreno Valley and what it continues to do for the region. Because that's very important, that we continue to look forward in 2019, because we're not done with progress. People are hoping on us to continue that work. You 7, I'm just a little voice in the city, but your 7 are the good voices for the city. So let's continue the work with our staff. Our staff will continue to work with our developers, and we'll finally get the city done one day before we move on. Hopefully everything goes well. Thank you so much for being here today, because it's a good sign to have all 7 youths here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Regaris. Any other speaker slips?
No, Chair.
All right. Having no other speakers, we will close the public comment section. Next on the agenda, non-public hearing items. There are none, which brings us to the public hearing portion of the meeting. Case number 1, PEN 18-0082, a conditional use permit. The applicant is TNC International Health. Do we have a staff report?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The staff report will be presented by Jeff Bradshaw.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Jeff Bradshaw. I'm an associate planner with the Planning Division. The item before you this evening is a proposal to develop an approximate 4.5-acre site that's located on the north side of Alessandro Boulevard and approximately 300 feet of Kitching Street, east of Kitching Street. The general plan land use designation for this property is residential office, and the current zoning district for this property is R10, which is a multifamily residential designation. The city's municipal code requires the approval of a conditional use permit when developing assisted living or skilled nursing facilities in the R10 zone, and so that is the application that is being presented to you this evening for your consideration. The applicant, TNC International Health Incorporated, is seeking approval of a conditional use permit. This would allow for the development of a skilled nursing facility on this site that would include 3 one-story buildings. Those buildings would accommodate administrative offices, kitchen and dining areas, common amenities, as well as 88 rooms for a total of 116 beds in the facility. And just wanted to make a correction to the staff report. I think almost the opening statement of the staff report suggests a single driveway. If you refer to the drawing here, access to the project is actually available off of Alessandro Boulevard from 2 driveway locations at both property lines. The project site is bounded on the north by an existing storm drain channel with existing single-family tract homes further to the north on the other side of that channel. To the west is the Moreno Valley Christian Academy. To the east are offices, administrative offices for Moreno Valley Unified School District. To the south is vacant land on the opposite side of Alessandro Boulevard, as well as a mobile home park. Staff had an opportunity to work with the applicant on this skilled nursing facility, and the project is designed and conditioned, is compatible with the general plan land use designation for the site, as well as zoning requirements that would apply, and compatible with surrounding land uses. EPD Solutions prepared a mitigated negative declaration for this project, an initial study checklist, and technical studies to examine potential environmental impacts. Staff has had a chance to review that documentation and work with them in the preparation of the mitigated negative declaration, and has determined that it would be both appropriate and consistent with the California Environmental Quality Act to certify the mitigated negative declaration for this project. Mitigations measures have been introduced for this project to ensure compliance with general plan policies and other requirements, and those mitigation measures are related to the CEQA topics of biological resources, noise, and cultural resources. And a mitigation monitoring program has been prepared to track the implementation of those mitigation measures through the construction process of the project. A public hearing notice for this project was published in the paper. That was actually done back in November, on November 23rd. Notices were sent to all properties owners of record within 300 feet of the project site, and that was done on November 29th. In the course of preparing the staff report, we weren't able to compile some of the conditions of approval in time as we worked to complete approval of the preliminary water quality management plan. And so continuance was requested of the Planning Commission in December to tonight's meeting. Site was also posted during that same time period, and to date, the city's not received any public inquiries about the project. No phone calls or emails, or nothing has come into the city regarding the project. With that concludes my presentation. I'm prepared to answer any questions that you might have, and it is staff's recommendation that the Planning Commission certify the mitigated negative declaration for the project and approve the conditional use permit as presented to you this evening.
Thank you. Very short and sweet. Any questions of staff? Mr. Harris?
Yes, I was wondering, with this particular project, since it is a skilled nursing facility or a subacute facility, and most of the patients, or some of the patients, will be non-ambulatory, and if there is a situation that would require evacuation, it talks about that you'll be able to get fire department, fire engines and stuff in there, but what if you had to do an evacuation of everybody that was in the facility? Is there adequate entrance and exits to accomplish that? Say all of a sudden, building 100 just went into flames.
I'll defer to our fire marshal, I think, to address that comment. And then the applicant is here as well, in case there's information they could provide about their evacuation or emergency plans for the facility.
Good evening, Adria Reinertson, Fire Marshal. As you said, this is a skilled nursing facility. Most of them being Group I occupancies are built for shelter in place. And of course, there are opportunities for evacuation. The good news with this facility, it's single story, which makes it a lot easier to move patients if you absolutely have to, but they are built with very passive protection built in so that you can also shelter in place as you need to.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Sims?
Yeah, as the building elevations, they're like at pages 132 or 182. There does appear to be there's small portions of the buildings that do look like they're two-story, or are those just architectural features?
Those are just architectural features.
Anyone else?
My question would be is when do they expect to, well, what would be the noise impact or probably the disruption of educational process to the school that is to the west during construction?
The project included the preparation of a noise analysis for the project, and we can take a look at there are some mitigation measures in place for noise, and we can take a look at those.
Less.
I'm referring to the mitigation and monitoring program, and that's on page 137 of the staff report. And there's a section there on noise with two mitigation measures. One is specific to the type of large equipment that would be utilized during the construction process and limitations on how close to the property line that equipment could operate. The other is the use or the requirement to incorporate temporary noise barriers along the property line to intercept some of that construction noise. And then as you go on to read those on the succeeding pages 138 and 139, there's additional discussion of again governing the types of equipment that could be used, the maintenance that needs to occur with that equipment in terms of mufflers and the performance of the engines. And there's some discussion as well about the timing of deliveries to the construction site. And all those, the combination of all those requirements are intended to reduce any impacts this project might have on the adjacent uses during construction.
Anyone else?
So for clarification in the staff report, you would tend to take that this is it says transitional, need by providing transitional care to seniors and facility can serve as a bridge between the hospital and living at home. So my first question would be, is this limited to 50, seniors only, or is this open to all?
I'm going to defer, I think, to the applicant to respond to the operational aspects of the facility in terms of age and their patients.
Okay, and the second question would be, is this a drug rehab or addiction, or is it strictly a physical moving? So could you explain that? Because if it's for the drug rehab, alcohol, I would have concerns being directly adjacent to school.
Hi, good evening. My name is Megan Macias. I'm with EPD Solutions. We're representing the applicant. It is open to all. It's not just a senior facility. It is a skilled nursing facility. So those who have a medical need can come to the facility. My understanding also is that even the city code does not allow drug and alcohol rehab in this type of a use. Is that correct, Jeff?
That's correct.
Okay. And so therefore, no, it is only medical rehab. It's not drug and alcohol rehab.
Since you're there, if no one has any questions, would you like to add anything to the staff report?
We have a short presentation about it with some additional features about the project. If you're ready for that, I can present that at this time.
If nobody has any questions, shall we go through that? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, good evening, Chair Barnes and members of the Planning Commission. As I said before, my name is Megan Macias. I'm with EPD Solutions, and we're representing the applicant. EPD prepared the mitigated negative declaration for the project. And on behalf of the applicant and the entire project team, we do want to thank you for your consideration of our project, and we also want to recognize and thank city staff for all of their hard work in getting us here this evening. So as Jeff outlined in his presentation, the project proposes development of a 116-bed skilled nursing facility. It would provide a range of care options from private rooms for longer-term care and also subacute care, which is the highest level of medical care that you can receive outside of a hospital. So this is a medical facility that we're proposing. So according to data from the Public Policy Institute of California, there is a need for additional skilled nursing facilities throughout the state, and in particular in the Inland Empire. The forecasts show that between 2012 and 2030, the senior population is forecast to increase by 105%. And by 2030, the PPIC estimates that there would be 3,124 fewer skilled nursing beds than are needed throughout the entire Inland Empire. And in addition to providing the needed facilities to care for aging and infirm population, the project would create new employment opportunities. It would add tax revenue and support economic development within the city. At this time, it's estimated that approximately 80 new jobs will be added by the project. The PPIC data also indicates that throughout the Inland Empire, over 50% of the skilled nursing facilities are considered either low or medium quality facilities. So our intention with this project is to provide a high quality facility that the city can be proud of, that will provide a dignified environment for the residents and the patients at the facility. The project architect, Greg Moreno and Associates, has experience with similar facilities, and including within Moreno Valley, was the architect for the Integrated Care Communities, which is an award-winning facility here within the city. So I'm sure you're familiar with the site plan. A couple features that I would like to point out. We're providing ample parking throughout the site. There's more parking than required by city code. It includes 11 clean air vehicle spaces. There's landscaping throughout the site. And there is open space incorporated through courtyards that are located within the building structures. Jeff mentioned the driveways. The eastern driveway is currently located directly adjacent to the Moreno Valley Unified School District driveway, And during the planning process, we did work with the district. Our original intent was to potentially consolidate those two driveways so that it would improve the operations instead of having two driveways side by side. And we did learn through that process, however, that the district is pursuing a project on their site to add to the district offices. And as part of that project, they would move their driveway approximately 250 feet to the east. So their timeline, when we spoke to them a few months ago, was that they would probably be completed by late 2019. So it is anticipated that by the time the skilled nursing facility is completed, that the district would either be complete or would be well on their way to moving their driveway. So we anticipate improved operations of both of those driveways. I mentioned the open space amenities, the courtyards. There's 14 courtyards that'll be provided throughout the project. They provide an open space amenity for the residents, and they'll be landscaped in various themes, such as Mediterranean, the fragrant courtyard, or Japanese courtyards. And of course, in addition to providing gathering or meditation type spaces, it has been shown that providing this type of outdoor environment can facilitate healing for the residents and the patients. And this slide just indicates a few more of the types of courtyards that could be incorporated throughout the project. The elevations were mentioned earlier. Just to confirm, it is a one-story structure, and this is an example of the building materials that would be utilized in the construction. The scale and the height of the project is consistent with the adjacent properties and the adjacent school office buildings. And the design and the colors and the textures, along with the proposed landscaping, are intended to give the project a pleasing and peaceful visual character, as well as to be consistent with the surrounding buildings. This is just further examples of the textures and the materials that would be used. This is our last slide, and again, we appreciate your consideration of the project. The project applicant is present, as well as representatives from the architects and, of course, the environmental consultant. And we would be happy to answer any questions that you may have of the project.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions of the applicant or representative? Mr. Harris.
Yes, I think I know the answer to this, but there will be no assisted living at this facility.
No, no assisted living.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any others? Well, at this time, we'll open the public comment portion of the hearing. Have any speakers?
We do. We have one, Rafael Brugueras.
Mr. Brugueras.
Good evening once again, commissioners, staff, residents, and our guests. I took a picture of the diagram of what it would look like when it's all done. How beautiful. In between the Christian school and the school board. Finally, that corner is going to look real nice with this project when it, and if it gets approved tonight. What I like about it is the staff writes a good report telling us all about it. And I read through it, and I like a lot of things, especially on page 7. The skilled nursing facility will fulfill an important community need. We don't have one in Moreno Valley. We don't have a rehab center. Everything that happens to our parents, our loved ones, or yourself, you will have to go to Riverside. That's it. We don't have anything like this in the city of Moreno Valley. They will be the first to accommodate our city of 210,000 residents. That's important, okay? I'm glad that Mr. Sims asked a good question. Is it for all? And the answer was yes. And I like that, because things can happen to any age, especially when there's vehicle accidents and things like that. That's very important for them to be able to go to a place. What I like about page 8 in the project is it's a 24-hour facility, okay? Daily activities just as physical therapy, meals, and a bath. Everybody needs a bath. Believe me, I knew when I had mines, when they were doing my surgery in my neck, and somebody came in who I never met in my entire life, gave me a sponge bath, something that I needed, especially when you're lying down for a few days. You're gonna need one there, okay? I mentioned the school. I hope that when it's all over and it gets built, that the teachers will take the kids inside the facility so they can see and intertwine with the seniors. Because sometimes seniors don't have no more family, but the caregivers, the doctors, the therapists, they become their family. And you know sometimes they live there for years to come. Some of them pass away there, and that's all they have, okay? And my last one, I love it. Construction, 18 months. They're promising us that they're gonna get it started this year and have it built by 2020. That's a good project. That's a fast project. That's a project that Moreno Valley needs. We don't need to wait 3 or 5 years for them to come back. They're willing to start this year and finish it next year. I hope it gets approved tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Bergaris. Any other speakers?
No, Chair.
All right, we'll close the public comment portion and deliberate. Any thoughts?
Well, I think it's a good project. I right now was posed with a question for my mother about putting her in a rehab, and the closest would be Riverside or Redlands. So when I saw this project coming up, I just thought it'll be a great thing for Moreno Valley. And like Raphael said, there is a need for it. And I'm hoping more of these do come in. And I think this is a great project, and the timeline that they're going to be doing it in, and it'll be up and running. I'm in total agreement with it.
I agree. Anyone else?
I have to concur as well. I just hope the applicant is going to be thinking about placing another one in our city at some point in time.
Well, I think it's beautifully designed. I think they took an extra step on this one with those outdoor spaces and the thought that went into a fragrance garden and things like that. It looks like it's just beyond an ordinary, and I can really appreciate that. And I like the fact that it is a little bit more upscaled and a little bit forward-thinking about the entirety of healthcare. So I think it's a great project.
I agree. I think this is a great project. It's needed in Moreno Valley. I also, this is like a tip. There needs to be a lot more of the opportunities that Moreno Valley has with Kaiser and the county, and to really optimize medical and all the ancillary type businesses, senior communities and things like that. We have a lot of land out there. This is the kind of stuff that brings higher paying jobs. It seems like it's low on need of city services, and this is really good stuff. So
Allows people to stay close to home when they're going through some type of an episode, and yeah, I think it's terrific. Do you have something, Commissioner Harris?
Yes, I'd just like to concur with the rest of the commissioners that
Right.
looks like a great project.
Well, seem to be in agreement. Somebody want to make a motion? Want to make a comment, Commissioner Baker?
Well, I think it's a great location where it's located centrally part of Moreno Valley, and it'll work good. And I like the project. It's great. Let me make a motion. Or?
Sounds like we've already voted. All right, let's make the motion. Someone?
I'll move that we recommend to approve resolution 2019-01 and thereby certify the mitigated negative declaration prepared to conditional use permit PEN 18-0082 on file with the Community Development Department Incorporated. Herein, this reference has been completed in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, and the Planning Commission reviewed and considered the information contained in the Commission's reviewed and considered the information, skip it, and contained in the mitigated negative declaration and the document reflects the city's independent judgment and analysis herein in Exhibit A, and also approve the mitigation monitoring program prepared for the conditional use permit PEN 18-0082 attached to Exhibit B. Then also the staff, we want to recommend that the Planning Commission approve Resolution 201902. Then also thereby approve conditional use permit PEN 18-0082 based on the findings contained in this resolution and subject to the conditions of approval included as Exhibit A.
All right.
Okay.
A second?
Second. I'll second.
Second from Commissioner DeJohnette. All right, a motion, a second. Please vote. Commissioner Harris? There we go. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. Do we have the staff wrap up?
The action taken by the Planning Commission this evening is an appealable action. It would need to be appealed within 15 days in writing, directed to the Community Development Director, and stating the specific reasons for the appeal and accompanied by a fee of $750. If we received appeal, it would be agendized for a public hearing at the City Council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Other commission business? Do we have any? It appears so. Staff comments?
I did want to let you know that we have a community workshop scheduled for this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. here in the council chambers. It's related to the Nason Street corridor study that's been going on to receive feedback on some design alternatives for the city-owned property at the northwest corner of Nason and Alessandro. So we'd invite everybody to attend. Hopefully it won't be raining. But I wanted to let you know about that and invite everybody to be there and come give us some input on that plan.
What time was that again?
From 10 a.m. to noon.
Great, thank you. Planning Commissioner comments.
I have a question.
All right,
Can I?
that qualifies.
Okay, I was on this project. I do recall, or right near this project that was approved today. We probably a year, maybe 2 years, year and a half ago, maybe, where the property just to the east of this, where all the old olive trees are, the property there, it's right adjacent to the track. They were going to build like a townhomes or a bunch of single family. Has that ever moved past entitlements or? You approved that? Yeah, remember we approved that? They were.
Yeah, to our knowledge, the project isn't moving ahead at this time, but there has been periodic discussion of a project at that location.
And then there, we also approved right there on the south side of Alessandro, a big apartment complex, whatever became of that.
Yes, that one is moving ahead. It actually was recently resubmitted. I believe they went with a different buyer purchased the property than the one that processed it. So they're making some minor changes to the project. I don't believe it will need to come back to the Planning Commission, but it is moving ahead.
That's excellent. That'll be great for those two shopping centers right there. Paris and Alessandro was on the south, the south corner right there. What is that? Walgreens, kind of surrounded the Walgreens and.
Okay.
Anyway, and Happy New Year. It's going to be a great 2019 for everyone.
Looking forward to it. Yes, Happy New Year, everyone. All right, well, I think with that, we are adjourned to the next regularly scheduled meeting on January 24th here in these chambers at 7 p.m. Thank you very much.